Absolutely.
Hey, this morning, of course, the big story everyone's talking about are these 3 girls that were, well, young women now, who were finally discovered in a house 10 years after being abducted.
Yes.
One of them, Amanda Berry, was abducted, I think, when she was just
I think she was maybe 14.
14?
Well, how old was she?
Amanda?
17.
Amanda was 17.
Right, it was
One
right
of the
before
girls was
17th
only like
birthday.
12, though.
Yeah.
And then another girl was, I think, 18. And
She was abducted in what, like 2006, 2007?
10 years
Yeah.
ago.
10 years ago.
One
Goodness.
of these women one that was abducted when she was younger is 32 years old now. And Amanda had a daughter with this man who took these girls, and hearing neighbors talk, actually hearing the soundbite from the man who found her and who helped rescue her from the house.
Y'all, this neighbor is going to get a reality show or
An
go
endorsement
viral
deal
or
from
something.
McDonald's.
Okay, here's the deal. So I was listening to this morning. He goes, so I was eating my McDonald's and I set it down because I heard yelling and I just thought it was a domestic violence dispute. And all of these white women start running out of this house. And you know, when white women are running into the arms of a black man, something is going wrong. Like, I was like,
He totally did. He's like, I knew she was either homeless or she was in trouble.
What was funny, he said that he's like done backyard barbecues with this guy.
Yeah.
He goes, I talk to this guy, we wave at each other, coming in and out of the house, picking up our mail every day. He goes, never questioned that there was something shady going on.
But let me tell you something. I give him so much credit because you're right. I mean, if you, as a black man, see this young, Caucasian woman running to you, you go, well, what's up, right? But he actually went and helped her.
I love that.
He went and stomped down the door, went inside, helped her to go call the police.
He's the hero of this story.
He is the hero of this story. I mean, he's adorable because you're right, he was funny.
His interview was
His interview, and he
really
wasn't even
hilarious.
trying to be funny. He just was being like candid and telling the story in his own account of how it happened.
Don't you
Exactly.
wonder, though, like after 10 years, this is the first time that she had a chance to escape? What happened? I want to know what the breaking point was for her.
Yeah,
that
because
she
he
would-
was gone. I know that the abductor was gone, and the brothers who have also been accused of being a part of this and knowing about it. But like, why that day?
Yeah.
Like, what gave her the courage to run? And
Jesus
to,
Christ gave
they
her
were
the
talking,
courage.
Ed Smart, Elizabeth Smart's father, was also talking about this. And of course, I lived in Salt Lake City when Elizabeth Smart was taken. And then also I was there when she was found. And he was saying that a lot of times when this happens, people like to blame it on Stockholm Syndrome, where you start to, where the victim starts to kind of relate with her captor and she starts to feel bad for him and she doesn't really want to be found at that point. He said that that's not what would happen with Elizabeth. And he said it's probably not what happened here. He said what happened is it's just fear-based. They say, if you try to escape, I will kill your family.
Yeah, they do.
I will kill you, and then I'll kill your family. And
Right.
I think that, the fear has to be the reason.
And they said too, that's why you should always tell your children, if for some reason you're abducted, and they tell you that I don't love you, that I don't care about you anymore, do not believe it.
Yeah, and if
So
they
I've
tell
told
you
my
they're going to
children
kill
that.
me, don't believe that either.
Exactly. You get to me. You do whatever you have to do to get in touch with mommy or daddy. Like you don't feed into that. So I tell my kids that all the time. If something happens, know that I am looking for you.
Yeah. And
We have a soundbite of the man. We have to listen to this guy, y'all.
Hey, Charles, let me talk to you. I'm talking with Charles Ramsey. He's a neighbor. Walk me through again what happened this afternoon. You heard screaming.
Heard screaming. I meet my McDonald's. I come outside. I see this girl going nuts, trying to get out of the house. So I go on the porch.
Okay.
I go on the porch, and she says, "Help me get out. I've been in here a long time." So I figured it's a domestic violence dispute. So I open the door, and we can't get in that way because how the door is, it's so much that a body can't fit through, only your hand. So we kick the bottom, and she comes out with the little girl, and she says, "Call 911. My name was Amanda Berry."
Now, did you know who that was when she said that?
When she told me, it didn't register until I got the call of 911, and I'm like, I'm calling the 911 for Amanda Berry. I thought this girl was dead. You know what I mean? And she got on the phone, and she said, "Yes, this is me." And the detective, Cook, right here, Detective Gregory Cook says, "Charles, do you know who you rescued?" I said,
Now, and when did you see Gina?
about
Oh my gosh, this guy.
His reaction is
He
just
is-
priceless.
He is
And
priceless.
he's the hero. So
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
the hero here.
Kudos to him.
And let me tell you though too, one part of the story that just got me. And I mean, as a mom, you know, if something were to happen, or if you had a sibling or anyone that was abducted, was that the mother of Amanda. I mean, she never gave up. Every Christmas, she put gifts on her baby's bed. Never gave up on her, but ended up passing away. And many people felt as though
Oh,
it was
I
because of
didn't
her.
know that.
Yeah, so she never got to see this moment this morning. Never got to see this moment, and so that's when I think the floodgates for me just opened up, because, you know, she never had to have, you know, she never had that moment with her baby.
And what does that do to Amanda too, to find out now that her mom's passed away? And,
No longer there.
and then she has this baby girl too.
Which,
Well,
you know,
they've
they're
said
not
that-
talking about. Like, we don't know, they haven't really verified that is for sure. I mean, we're assuming that that's probably the daughter of her and maybe one of the abductors, but
Yeah.
they
And they
have not
said something that was
confirmed
important is that the family never gave up looking, you know, and they say that Amanda Berry has stayed on everyone's radar for 10 years. And so you remember her name. You know, I think a lot of times people, you know, a couple years go by and they just call it a wash and say, well, I guess we're never going to find her. And then those names of those children that have gone missing, they fall out of our memory. But, you know, Amanda Berry everyone has still been talking about this for several years. So, I mean, it's a victory, and it's...
I just think as a mother, if your child is taken or missing, I just don't think you can ever accept the idea that they might be dead.
No.
You would keep going. You would keep looking, and this is certainly a testament to that something
Yeah.
horrible like this could happen. But thank God they're still alive.
That's why I love what Robin Roberts said this morning. She says, never give up hope. Never. In life, this is such a
Anything.
great testament that if something happens like this, never give up hope, because you never know.
Right.
You never know.
When we come back, we're going to talk about. We found it was a eulogy that is very interesting, and it started to make me think, what would you want yours to say? What would you want people to say about you after you were gone? So it's kind of interesting. We're back in a moment.